isn't it cool that reality can produce a person like this? I think it's ridiculous.
But wouldn't it be cooler if Elon Musk showed up one day and was like, guys, I am the big talking head, you know, transmission coming in. Wouldn't that be more like, what the everything's gone bananas?
All right, modern mystics and truth seekers, we got a crazy one today. We're going to be looking at a channeler. We had mentioned that in a previous video. We did it on Daryl Abka and evolution of consciousness. But here's an actual channeler, and we're going to give you an example of them doing their thing.
Cool.
And you can decide what you think about this and see if there's anything worthwhile pulling out of it. This guy here, his name is Daryl Abka, and the channeling entity that he is that is talking through him, his name is Bashar.
All right.
So I will leave a link in the description box for his website and where I got this clip from, and then you guys can see what he's all about. But pretty interesting stuff.
The idea thus then of all these notions that have been shared with you this day are things that we have been speaking of now for quite some time to the people of your planet, and will continue to do so in this way until such time as it is determined that you have said you are collectively ready to interact in different ways, to raise your vibrations up in different ways so as to create a new reality in which many of the things you say you prefer can actually come to pass, can actually manifest physically, can actually come to light, and that you can experience these things that you desire to experience.
So I guess already he's trying to say that this entity that is channeling through him wants the best for us, and he's going to tell us how to do it somehow.
Okay. It's interesting that like the cadence to which he speaks. Have you heard this guy speak when he's being his normal, like when he's not channeling?
No, actually no.
Like does he talk like this? Because right now it almost sounds like he's doing an impersonation of like a news anchor or a talk show host, or you know, like.
And his eyes are closed the whole time.
Yeah, like, you know, coming up next on that. You know, that's just how it seems to me.
Yeah.
Like, just being honest,
yeah.
That's what it seems like.
Right.
Interesting that some higher dimensional being would be like, you know, who like they speak English?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Or is it
I
just
guess
like,
so.
or is it like this is the result when that higher dimensional being like tickles the part of a human brain that controls speech, and then it's like, well, it comes out like this. Go figure. You know, like. I don't know. That's
maybe you'd have to maybe watch some other people like this.
Yeah.
Abraham Hicks, you could go watch some of her stuff because she's another person.
Yeah. I have a book of hers.
Yeah.
I think about it's like kind of like the law of attraction.
Yeah.
I have a book, and I think it's the Abraham Hicks channeler.
All right. Well, let's hear what else he's got to say.
On a day-to-day basis in physical reality, even though it will not be exactly the same physical reality you are experiencing now because of its vibrational difference. As has been often said, you are shifting your frequencies from one reality level to another, and this is so. But you are always shifting. You are shifting now. It is a natural thing that you do. You don't have to wait to shift. You've been shifting. You've been shifting all your lives. This is the way motion is created. This is what happens when you create the illusion of movement. The only way to create the illusion of movement is to actually shift from parallel reality to parallel reality that's slightly different than the reality you were in before. So you're shifting now, you're shifting now, you're shifting now, you're shifting now, you're shifting now. Through constantly shifting parallel realities. The idea is that you don't notice this so much because each new reality you shift to is very similar to the one you were existing in.
Interesting concept that you would be like shifting from one reality through the vibrational, I guess, consciousness of, I think that's what he's trying to say, is like where you are in like your vibrational setting, and like you're constantly shifting into different realities constantly depending on where you are. Interesting idea of looking at it.
A conclusion I've arrived at many times while severely baked on weed. I'm just shifting from reality to reality. Not to diminish it, but yeah, like you couldn't accuse the guy of being boring.
Yeah. It's like, ooh. Oh, wait till you hear what he's got to say next.
Before. The idea of noticing the change is to create there to be a bigger difference between the parallel reality you shift to and the one that you were in before. That's when you know you're shifting. That's when you reveal to yourselves that you're always constantly shifting, and that learning to shift is not something you have to do. You do it automatically. You do it by your own second nature. It is natural to you to shift. This is the nature of how reality works. This is the nature of how change exists. So the question is not, can you shift? The question is, what will you shift to? And how different will you allow the shift to be based on your definitions and your belief systems of what you believe is possible for you?
Somebody should like splice this up and make a fake video of be like, how to drive a standard vehicle. And you'd be like, you shift and you shift. And the guy be like, what the
That's a good idea. Yeah.
That's all.
All right. I just got about a minute and a bit
And this
left.
is why it is of paramount importance, as has been said this day, for you to really focus on the idea of the frequency, the vibrational frequency, the state of being that you prefer your reality to be, and thus then understand, based on what we have just said, about shifting to parallel Earth realities, that when you change the vibration of your being, it's not that you change the world. It's that you take yourself, you shift yourself to a parallel Earth already existing on the vibratory level you have created within yourself. So it's not about having to force anyone else to change. It's only about you changing and taking yourself to whatever reality, whatever parallel Earth is representative of the vibrational frequency you have created within your own state of being.
Now that's kind of an interesting take. The last thing that he said there, I think you could put it in a way that doesn't seem so out there. Whereas, like, I like the idea of not constantly having to like look at others and try and change the world to make it like work out for you. But he's saying that by you changing you, that's how everything changes, which is kind of an interesting concept, but not a concept that's foreign to spirituality and other practices and paths that are out there. I think a lot of paths would say, like, yeah, work on yourself, fix yourself before trying to go out into the world. Hey, pull the plank out of your own eye before you pull the speck of, the sawdust out of your neighbor's eye. Mm-hmm. So I definitely think that there's something interesting there that you could probably pull out of that.
Cool. Yeah. No, to me, but if I'm being honest, my thoughts are like this, okay? One, if he was talking normal, didn't have his eyes closed and was doing this, like, and this is what I'm at. Like, if he was just like, and you shift from reality to reality, if people would be like, what are your credentials? Like, is he a nuclear physicist? Or is he just like some guy that, why do aliens always pick like trailer park people? Or why does God, like, the lesson is that God can choose even the uneducated. It's like, but isn't that also like the place from which hucksters grow?
Well, not necessarily.
Not necessarily. Don't let me judge none. Yeah. I'm not trying to say anything about any specific type of people. Yes, of course, exceptional people can come from everywhere. That's what the whole point of Goodwill Hunting was. But, what I'm saying here is, like, would this have as much impact if he was not channeling to say it?
Yeah.
With something that's unprovable and there's no credential for it or nothing. We just got to go by faith.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. But isn't it cool that reality can produce a person like this? I think it's ridiculous.
But wouldn't it be cooler if Elon Musk showed up one day and was like, guys, I am the big talking head, transmission coming in. Wouldn't that be more like, what the everything's gone bananas? That would be more so, not like some guy who's like, I don't know. I don't want to say anything because I don't know anything about him.
Yeah. What? I don't know, guys. What do you think?
Maybe he's a professor. Maybe he's not. Maybe it does not matter.
Yeah. Should you even pay attention to stuff like this? But this is what we do. We like to pull from all fields, look in all corners, and
you definitely don't need to be a professor or a doctor to speak the truth.
Yes.
That is not a prerequisite. You can be anyone and have a message, but it's just I want to know the backstory. I want to know this guy's
Well,
backstory.
you have to go study him up. The link's in the description box, so go check him out.
Sure.
And that's the same for you guys. And what do you guys think? If you liked it, leave a comment. Don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, share this with a friend, and everybody, until next time,
Stay spiritual.